The Zarubyntsy culture. The last millennium before the Common Era is known as the Iron Age, named for the widespread adoption of iron metallurgy during this period. Key representatives of the era include the Scythians, 7th to 3rd centuries BCE, the concept of Antiquity, 8th to 5th centuries BCE, the flourishing Celts with their Latin culture, 5th, 1st centuries BCE, and the rise of ancient Rome, whose golden age spanned the 2nd, 1st centuries BCE. This historical framework also encompasses numerous Indo-European agricultural and forest steppe archaeological cultures of the Bronze and Iron Ages. Among these cultures is the Zarubyntsy culture, discovered by archaeologist Vikenty Khvoyka in 1899 in the village of Zarubintsy, Cherkasy Oblast, Ukraine. Regarded as the easternmost and primary Latin-influenced culture in Ukraine, it coexisted with the Sarmatian tribes of the steppes, while the Proto-Slavs inhabited forest and forest steppe zones, stretching from the Pripyat River to the Desna, the middle and upper Dnipro, and parts of modern Ukraine and Belarus. Burial evidence dates the culture's emergence to the 3rd to 2nd centuries BCE, aligning with the rise of other Latin-influenced groups. It developed from earlier Western cultures, primarily the Pomeranian culture. The Zarubyntsy culture thrived around the turn of the Common Era before evolving into late Zarubintsy sites. Characteristics of the Zarubintsy culture. The culture featured two settlement types: fortified hill forts on high Dnipro riverbanks, capes or promontories, open villages on low terraces, riverbanks or floodplains. Most settlements were small, with occasional exceptions. Homes were semi-subterranean, it's 0.308 m deep, with rectangular layouts, 3 to 4.5 m long. Wall construction varied. Middle Dnipro, wattle and daub, woven willow branches plastered with clay. Northern areas, log-built walls, horizontal logs secured in grooves. A central or wall-adjacent hearth, up to 1 meter wide, was typical. Settlements also included storage pits, workshops, and open hearths. Ceramics were handmade and divided into coarse ware, for cooking, storage, decorated with finger impressions or notches. Polished tableware, often black and elegantly shaped, with little additional ornamentation. Vessel forms range from ribbed to rounded with shoulders. Imported pottery has also been found. Artifacts included weaving tools, casting crucibles, and grain grinders. The culture had a developed craft industry, with some settlements specializing in production. Distinctive items included fibulae, pendants, metal bracelets, and glass beads. Burial practices and burial differences. The burial grounds of the Zarubinets culture are presented as burial fields that currently have no external signs. The largest, Chaplinsky and Pyrohivsky, held up to 300 graves each. Most burials followed cremation rites, typical of Latin cultures, though inhumations occurred. Cremated remains were deposited in urns buried in pits with bones and grave goods, combinations of both. Some graves, cenotaphs, contained only grave goods. Offerings were modest, usually a pot, bowl, and cup, occasionally accompanied by clothing, jewelry, or weapons. Upper Dnipro, exclusively pit cremations, no urns, often with pyre remnants. Middle Dnipro and Polisia included urn burials, 10% of graves, with clean bones, no ash, charcoal. Middle Dnipro, 50% of graves held animal bones, funerary offerings. The culture spanned Ukraine and Belarus, covering the Dnipro Basin, from the Tyazmin River to the Berezina Estuary, the Middle Seam River area, Pripyat Polisia. It had 4 regional variants. 1. Middle and Upper Dnipro. 2. Pripyat Polisia. 3. Seam River. The Middle Dnipro, Upper Dnipro, Chaplin type, and Pripyat Polisia groups shared strong similarities, while the northern Upper Dnipro, Kistany-Chechersk type, and Seam River, Karivka type, exhibited distinct traits. In the middle, the third quarter of the 1st century AD, the culture declined due to economic crisis, abandoned hill forts, chash cemeteries, transitioning into late Zarubintsy sites marked by migration waves, shifts in material culture and trade, simpler pottery, less polished ware, early Roman-influenced artifacts. These late sites, mid-1st to 2nd century CE, lacked cohesion, fragmenting into regional groups tied to earlier Zarubintsy variants. Then new processes of migration and transformation into Kiev and Prague cultures take place.